Hello everyone, my name is Nadeem Khan. Welcome to Uncommon Literature. Today we are going to do Preface to Shakespeare by Samuel Johnson. So Samuel Johnson wrote a preface to the plays of William Shakespeare, and it is a piece of criticism which is very important in the English literature. So let us begin. So Samuel Johnson says that Shakespeare is considered a great English playwright because he has portrayed human nature in its truest form. His characters are faithful representation of humanity. So what this point says, that Shakespeare has been true in showing the human nature, and through his characters he has displayed what people we actually have in the real world, and we can even formulate the philosophy of life and human nature through his works. So this much his works are true to life and human nature. Shakespeare has shown that life is not only about love, but all the other passions are also involved in it. And he further mentions that Shakespeare has been criticized for mixing comedy with tragedy. But Johnson defends him, saying that in using tragic comedy, Shakespeare is even more true to life, because tragic comedy is even nearer to life, since life also has all the elements in it, like tragedy, comedy, love, hate, fame, etc. So basically what the point says, that by writing tragic comedy, so basically there is tragedy, and in that tragedy Shakespeare also included some comedy in between. So he was criticized for mixing two different genres, but Shakespeare has been defended by Johnson, saying that this is true reflection of life, because life also has all the elements mixed together, and therefore this genre tragic comedy can satisfy greater variety of tastes. He moves further to say that Shakespeare was very comfortable in writing comedy, and comedy came naturally to him, but he seems to toil in writing tragedy, because a lot of effort are visible when Shakespeare has written his tragedy, but no such effort has been seen in his comedies. Like, he has been very smooth while writing the comedies, and a little labor or effort are appearing in his tragedies. Johnson further moves, and he says that there are some serious faults in the works of Shakespeare. Let us look what are they. The first is that Shakespeare sacrifices virtue, and he is concerned more to please than to instruct. So what this point means, that Shakespeare was criticized for not having poetic justice. So now what is poetic justice? So in the end of any work, the good prevails, the good wins, and the bad loses. So this is not found in most of the plays of Shakespeare. So that is why he has been criticized. The first point means this, that he sacrifices virtue, and he is more concerned to please rather than to instruct. So according to Johnson, literature should be of instruction, like literature should teach us something, but Shakespeare was only concerned with pleasing. Second point is that his plots are loosely formed. So the plots of the drama are not connected smoothly. Okay, this is the point. So basically there is lack of unity of time and place in his works. What is the lack of unity of time and place? So basically that the scenes which are in sequence of his plays are not following the natural timeline. So one play, one scene opens in one place and in one time, the other scene opens in completely another setting, and the time is also not corresponding to the previous scene. So this is how there is a lack of time and place. Then the third one is that Shakespeare uses many anachronism. Now what is anachronism? That the usage of something when that thing was not even existed. Okay, like the usage of clock in the Roman time. So he has mentioned usage of clock in his Roman plays, and factually there was no clock in the time of Roman people. The next point is that his narration has much pomp of diction and circumlocution. So what is pomp of diction? That the narration has a lot of pomp of diction, basically pretension, that the dialogue is not that serious, but the words which are used to say that are very grand, unnecessarily as well. And circumlocution means that Shakespeare has used a lot of indirect expression in his dialogue. There are many indirect expression as well, that is called circumlocution. Fifth point is that what Shakespeare does best, he soon ceases to do that. This means that if Shakespeare is doing something in one scene, basically with one character, with one scene, so he soon ends that and moves to something else. The sixth and the last point is that Shakespeare is too fond of puns and quibbles. So what is pun? Pun is basically double meaning words. So Shakespeare is very interested in writing his dialogues with a lot of puns. If you have read any of his work, then you must have read a lot of puns. And next is quibbles. What is quibble? That quibble is, deviating from the point and involving in some trivial matter, so that is called quibble. So he is not focusing on the major aspect, major plot, rather than he is deviating a lot in trivial matters. And now we will see that how Johnson defends Shakespeare. So Johnson defends Shakespeare's lack of three unities by saying that his histories are neither comedy nor tragedy. Therefore, they are not subject to the classical rules which are formed for tragedy and comedy. So basically, Shakespeare was criticized for not having the three unities of time, place and action. So Johnson defends that these rules were written for comedy and tragedy, and his histories, like his historical plays, are not following in any of these two genres. So therefore they are not liable to follow these unities. Okay. Next, he also says that the only unity the work is needed to follow is the consistency of naturalness, which Shakespeare has acquired properly. Further, Johnson mentions that his plots have the beginning, middle and an end, and one is logically connected with the other. So Johnson is mentioning that the works of Shakespeare have beginning, middle and end, and all these three parts are properly connected with one another. Further, Johnson shows no regret for the lack of unity of time and place, because since audience can imagine the stage as Alexandria and actors as Antony and Cleopatra, they can also surely imagine much more. So what these points mean? Johnson mentions that we should not criticize Shakespeare for his lack of unity of time and place, because audience are aware that they have come to see a drama and they can imagine the stage as Alexandria, historical city, and actors as Antony and Cleopatra. So therefore they can imagine many more things. So we should not focus on these things. So Further, he says that drama is a delusion, and a delusion does not have any limits, and one action can lead to another location, but they should be well connected. So here Johnson is mentioning that one action can lead to another location. So from one location the action can go to another location, but the two scenes should be well connected, and this Shakespeare has done perfectly. So however, saying all this can be against Johnson himself, but he justifies Shakespeare on basis of his closeness to life. So just because Shakespeare has been very close to life, he has portrayed the life in the truest sense, Johnson is ready to go even against his own ideologies. So with this, we have come to the end of this essay. If you have any doubts, you can write me in the comment section. Must subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.